At my sister's wedding I was told, "You'll sit near the kitchen, closer to the staff." My mom whispered, "Just be grateful you're even here." I walked to the gift table, took back the envelope with my $7,000 check, slipped in a $1 bill and said, "Now it matches the respect I get." 10 minutes later she came storming toward me, yelling my name. I tried. I really did. I showed up, dressed like I should, gift in hand, did my makeup classy, not dramatic, heels that didn't scream for attention. I even kept my mouth shut when my mother texted me the venue address without a hello or hope to see you. She never says please, and she never pretends to like me unless someone important is watching. I tried to be what they clearly never wanted me to be, invisible and agreeable. But they wouldn't even let me do that. I'd spent the entire week reminding myself this wasn't about me, that it was Amanda's big day, and I was just another guest. But walking into that overpriced wedding barn, with chandeliers hanging like we were all royalty drinking champagne in a vineyard, it hit me, I was never just a guest. I was the family embarrassment in designer heels. The inconvenient success story they couldn't control. Amanda's friends don't know the half of it. They think I'm distant or cold. They don't know the years of side comments, the way my mother used to say, "Don't gloat, it's not becoming," anytime I accomplished something. How Amanda would fake support me in public, then turn around and call me a show-off behind my back. And I still showed up. With a $5,000 check in a thick white envelope. No message. No card. Just the check. I figured the money would say enough. I walked in alone. A couple people I hadn't seen in years actually smiled and waved. One cousin even hugged me and said, "Thank God you came." It almost made me think maybe, it wouldn't be a total disaster. Then I reached the check-in table. The planner greeted me and showed me the seating chart. And there was Table 17. Practically off the map. I blinked, thinking maybe I misread it. I leaned in. Nope. Table 17, Nora. One seat. No +1. Right next to the kitchen entrance. Before I could ask, I felt that all too familiar presence beside me. My mother. "You'll sit near the kitchen," she said quietly. "Closer to the staff." Like it made perfect sense. Like I should be grateful for the scraps. I turned to look at her. Nothing in her face. Just mild irritation that I hadn't walked away yet. When I didn't move, she added, "Just be grateful you're even here." That's when the fuse finally hit the flame. I didn't say a word. I walked straight to the gift table. My envelope was still there, unopened among the pretty pastel cards. I grabbed it, pulled out the check, folded it, and tucked it back into my purse. Then I took out a single dollar bill, slid it into the envelope, sealed it again, and gently placed it back on the pile. As I walked away, I said, just loud enough for Amanda's friend group to hear, "Now it matches the respect I get." I knew the bomb had landed when Amanda came marching toward me minutes later, in full bridal gear, gripping her bouquet like she might use it as a weapon. "Nora, are you serious? Did you just take back your gift?" A few people actually gasped. She wasn't quiet. "You shoved me next to the kitchen like I was an afterthought," I said. "So yeah, I made a little adjustment." "You're ruining my wedding," she said. "I tried to behave," I told her. "But you made sure I couldn't." Dan, her fiancé, showed up just in time. He stepped between us, told her to lower her voice, said, "Everyone's watching." I said, "Good," and walked back to the gift table. Picked up my envelope for the second and final time. Slid it back into my purse. I didn't stay for the ceremony. Didn't wave goodbye. I walked out the same way I came in. Alone, heels clicking, head high. A few people clapped. One uncle actually nodded at me as I passed. And that was just the beginning. The next morning was quiet for exactly 6 minutes. I was still in my robe, holding a mug of coffee and pretending I was going to have a normal day when the doorbell rang. Not once. Twice. Then came the pounding, fist after fist slamming into the wood like they were about to break the door down. I didn't even flinch. I already knew. I opened the door and just as expected, there stood Amanda in a hoodie that wasn't hers, hair still half done from the wedding, face flushed and tired like she hadn't slept. Behind her, our mother, still in pearls, full makeup, lips pressed into that judgmental little line she thinks makes her look regal. Neither of them waited for an invitation. My mother brushed past me like I was the maid. Amanda followed close behind, and I just stood there for a second, taking in the absurdity of it. Less than 24 hours ago, this woman was throwing rice and fake smiles. Now she was yelling in my living room like I stole her car. "Where is it?" Amanda snapped. "Where's the check?" I shut the door and turned to face them. "Good morning to you too." "You think this is funny?" she yelled. "You embarrassed me in front of everyone. You made me look like a beggar." I crossed my arms. "I didn't make you look like anything. You did that all by yourself." My mother turned to me. "You don't need the money, Nora. We all know that. You were just being spiteful. That money was meant for the honeymoon. She's your sister. I laughed once. She's the same sister who put me next to the kitchen like a stray dog. Forgive me if I didn't feel like handing her $5,000 for the honor. Amanda stormed past me, heading straight down the hallway like she lived there. Where are you going? I called after her. To get what I'm owed. You're not owed anything. She disappeared into my bedroom. I followed, heart already pounding. When I saw her pulling open drawers, I stepped in fast, grabbed a fistful of her hair, and yanked her back hard enough to make her yelp. You broke into my house, I said. Our mother ran in, shouting something about me being unstable, throwing her hands up like I'd lost my mind. I didn't give them a chance to twist it. I shoved them both toward the hallway. My mother tried to plant herself in place, but I kept going, opened the front door and physically pushed them out. Get the hell out of my house. Amanda was still screaming on the porch. You're going to regret this, you selfish bitch. You think you're better than us just because you made money. I slammed the door. I locked it. I stood there for a full minute, staring at the door, chest heaving, pulse hammering in my ears. Then I picked up my phone and called Dan. He answered on the second ring. I need to talk to you, I said. Your fiancée and her mother just broke into my house looking for the check I took back. They tore through my bedroom, screamed at me. I had to physically throw them out. Silence. Then he said, wait, are you serious? Dead serious. He cursed under his breath. I'm sorry. I didn't know they were going to do that. Well, they did. And I want you to talk to them before I get the police involved. I will, he said. I swear. I'll handle it. A few hours passed. I stayed home. Didn't answer any texts. I thought maybe that was the end of it. Until around 9 p.m. I checked my phone and saw an alert from my bank. $1,200. Spent at some boutique in Soho. $600. Dinner reservation charged. $2,300. Gone to a bridal experience spa. Multiple withdrawals. By morning the total was over $8,000. My stomach dropped. I logged in again. My bank card was missing. I always kept it in the same place in my purse. And the password? My birth year. And then it hit me. She didn't just storm into my house looking for the check. She stole my card. Memorized the password. I stared at the screen for a long time. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just sat there in a kind of frozen rage I've never felt before. She hadn't just humiliated me. She robbed me. And she was still out there blowing my money on spa treatments and designer crap like it was hers. This wasn't OV. I kept refreshing the bank app like a maniac. The numbers didn't lie. Every few minutes, another charge would pop up like someone was actively mocking me in real time. It started with a boutique in Soho, $1,235. Then a spa package for $2, $850. Then another boutique, $1,765. Dinner at a high-end restaurant, $642. A hotel booking, $980. Designer shoes. A matching set of rings. She even bought a silk robe for $320. Who the hell spends $320 on a robe? In less than 24 hours, Amanda had burned through over $8,000 of my money. And I knew it was her. I checked my bag. My bank card was gone. I didn't want to believe it at first, but then I remembered her in my bedroom, opening drawers, claiming she was getting what she was owed. I remembered the moment I dragged her out of my house and slammed the door behind her. Somewhere between the yelling and the screaming, she managed to slip my card out of my wallet. And the password? Of course she knew it. My birth year. She joked about it all the time, said I was too old to be acting so uptight. Now she'd used it to gut my account. I froze the card immediately and called the bank. They said they'd launch an investigation, but it would take days. Maybe weeks. They'd try to reverse the charges, but they couldn't guarantee anything without a police report. I wanted to call the cops. I really did. But I also wanted her to know I knew, before the law got involved. I wanted her to sweat. So I called Dan. He picked up instantly. Hey, is everything okay? No, I said. Amanda stole my bank card yesterday when she stormed into my house. She's been spending like it's Monopoly money. She blew through $8,000 in a day. He didn't say anything. You're serious? He finally said. I have all the transactions. Timestamps. Locations. It's her. You know it's her. Another pause. Then he sighed. I'm so sorry, Nora. I swear I didn't know. I'll talk to her. No. I don't want apologies. I want my money. I'll make this right, he said. I'll figure something out. Just give me time. I didn't respond. I just hung up. 2 hours later, I got a message from a number I didn't recognize. Hi, Nora. This is Dan's mom. I hope it's okay I'm reaching out. We just found out what Amanda did. I'm honestly horrified. Please don't press charges yet. We'd like to speak with you if that's okay. That stopped me cold. Dan told his parents. I didn't know what I expected from them, but it wasn't that. Later that day, Dan's parents came to my place. They knocked politely, waited for me to open the door. And when I did, they looked embarrassed, like they'd been forced to see something they'd been ignoring for too long. His mom held out a folder. We brought something. One of Amanda's friends, Sarah, forwarded these screenshots, texts, photos. Amanda bragged about what she bought. She even called it compensation. I opened the folder. There was a list of purchases she'd sent to her bridesmaids in a group chat. Dan's father spoke up for the first time. We're not here to defend her. This crossed the line. You deserve better than this. Later that night, Dan showed up at my place. He looked like hell. Said Amanda had flipped out on him. Accused him of betraying his future wife. Said I was manipulating everyone. I asked him point blank, "Are you still marrying her?" He didn't answer. I watched him closely. "You saw who she is. You can't pretend anymore." He finally said, "I don't know who she is anymore." Then added, "But I know who you are. And I should have seen it sooner." For a second I almost felt sorry for him. Almost. He promised me he'd help get the money back. Not just through the bank, he was willing to take it from Amanda directly. Said he'd confront her with the screenshots. He even mentioned going to his lawyer. I told him I didn't care how he handled it. I just wanted every last cent. I was done being quiet. I was done playing polite. Amanda didn't just steal my money. She declared war. The refund came through at 3:46 p.m. I watched the screen light up on my phone as every last cent, $8052.13, returned to my account line by line. The bank flagged the charges, traced the locations, confirmed I'd been nowhere near them. They even apologized for the delay. But I didn't feel relief. Not yet. Because the real win wasn't the money. It was the part Amanda didn't expect. The part that actually mattered to her more than anything. Being exposed. The day after I froze the card and turned in the fraud claim, I got a call from a boutique in Soho. The woman on the phone sounded confused but polite. She said someone matching Amanda's description had returned several luxury items. Shoes, a coat, even a silk robe, and tried to get the money refunded to a different card. When they asked for the original one, she got flustered and started lying. Said the card had been lost. Then she offered to take store credit in cash. They didn't buy it. "We're holding the items in the back," the saleswoman said. "Would you like to come pick them up? They technically belong to you." I did. The boutique was a place I'd walked past 100 times but never gone in. Velvet curtains, chilled champagne, staff who called you miss, even if you walked in wearing jeans. They remembered Amanda by name. Not in a good way. I was handed a black shopping bag with every item carefully folded and rewrapped. As I was signing the receipt acknowledgement, the woman said, "She's next door, by the way. At the photo studio. She's having some bridal portraits retaken." I blinked. "What?" She said she didn't like how the wedding ones turned out. So I turned and looked through the boutique's glass storefront into the studio next door. And there she was. In her wedding gown. Alone. Not surrounded by bridesmaids. No mother hovering. Just Amanda. Posing in front of a mirror with a forced smile and eyes that looked empty. She didn't see me right away. I stood there for a moment holding the shopping bag full of things she stole, wondering if I should just walk away. Let her have her sad fake redo. Let her sit in the mess she made. But then she turned. Our eyes locked through the glass. And I walked in. The photographer looked up, startled. Amanda went pale. "What are you doing here?" she asked, her voice tightening. I held up the bag. "You left these behind." "I didn't steal from you," she said instantly, like we'd already started the argument she rehearsed in her head. "Except you did. And now your name is flagged at 2 luxury stores, and your receipts are in a fraud report." The photographer began backing away. "This is my shoot," she said. "You can't just show up. You can't just break into people's homes and empty their accounts, but you did that too." And then without warning, the studio door opened behind me. Dan walked in. He froze for a second when he saw us. Amanda in her gown, me holding her theft in a shopping bag, the awkward silence between us. I hadn't told him I'd be there. I hadn't told anyone. He looked at her for a long moment. Then he said one thing. "We're done." Amanda blinked. "What?" "I'm not marrying you. Not after this. Not after what you did to her. To me. To yourself." She stepped forward. "You can't do this here." He didn't even flinch. "It's the only place that makes sense." She started crying again, her voice cracking, asking him to just wait until we're home, like anything still belonged to her. Dan turned to me. "Let's go." And we walked out. past the stunned boutique staff, past Amanda's reflection in the glass, watching us leave. We didn't say anything to each other for the rest of the day. Dan didn't ask to come home with me. He didn't ask for forgiveness. He just made it clear with his actions whose side he was on now. The money was back. The truth was out. Amanda had been left standing alone in her rented fantasy. And that should have been the end. But with women like Amanda and my mother, people who've spent their whole lives believing the world owes them something, it's never over. 3 days of silence. That's all I got. 3 days where no one texted, no one showed up at my door, and Amanda's name stayed out of my mouth. I even started to believe maybe it was over. Maybe Dan breaking off the engagement was the final blow. Maybe the returned money, the public embarrassment, the shattered photo shoot. Maybe that was finally enough for them. I should have known better. On the morning of the 4th day, I walked into my kitchen, phone in hand, planning to check emails and make coffee. But I stopped mid-step. The back door was open. Unlocked. Halfway pushed out into the yard like someone forgot to close it. And my stomach dropped. I didn't leave it like that. Before I could process it, I heard it, the rustling of drawers in the next room. Voices. Whispering. I grabbed my phone and walked fast, silent. I turned the corner into the hallway and there they were. Amanda. My mother. Inside my house. Amanda had my desk drawer open, rifling through old bank statements. My mother was in my closet pulling out boxes. They hadn't seen me yet. I just stood there watching. The audacity of it. The sheer, unbelievable entitlement. When Amanda turned and finally spotted me, she didn't even flinch. She didn't act guilty. Just said, "Where is it?" I stared. "Where is what?" "You know what we're here for," my mother added from across the room as if that explained anything. "You already got caught," I said. "You're lucky I didn't press charges. And now you're breaking into my house again." "We're not leaving without it," Amanda said, stepping closer. "You're not leaving at all," I snapped. "I'm calling the cops." My mother's tone changed instantly. "Don't overreact, Nora. We're family. We just want what belongs to Amanda." I laughed, stunned. "What exactly do you think belongs to Amanda?" She looked me dead in the eye. "The money. You took it back, but it was a wedding gift. That makes it hers." I actually had to steady myself. "You broke into my home. To search for money you already stole and got caught stealing." Amanda's eyes darted around like she still thought it might be hidden somewhere. She moved toward the living room. That's when I lost it. I walked straight up to her, grabbed her by the back of the head and yanked her backward. She screamed, dropped a stack of papers and fell sideways into the couch. My mother rushed toward me, trying to pull me off, but I shoved her back so hard she stumbled into the wall. "Out," I said. "Out of my house. Or I swear this time I'll let them arrest you both." Amanda scrambled to her feet, hair tangled, red-faced. "You psycho. You've always been jealous of me." I opened the front door and pointed outside. Neither of them moved fast enough, so I started pushing. Literally pushing. Amanda first. My mother second. Like trash I was finally taking out. When the door slammed behind them, I locked it. Then I picked up my phone and called 2 people, my father and Dan. My father answered, already sounding tired. I told him everything. His only response was, "Don't involve me. I told you from the start I wasn't getting in the middle." Of course he did. Then I called Dan. He picked up, voice cautious. "Are you okay? They broke into my house again. They were looking for the money. Amanda and your ex-future mother-in-law." He cursed quietly. "What do you want me to do?" "I don't care what you do," I said. "But they're your problem too. And if they show up again, I'm filing a police report." He hesitated. "I'll take care of it." I didn't expect him to. But what happened next I absolutely didn't see coming. Because 2 hours later I got a call from Dan again. He was panicked. "Check your account," he said. "Now." I logged in. $0. He took my backup card. The one I hadn't even realized was missing. While she was here. During the chaos. He slipped it out of my drawer. And this time she didn't just take 8 grand. She drained everything. It didn't even feel real at first. Just numbers. Just a screen. I stared at the app like maybe I had opened the wrong account. Like maybe this was some glitch or mistake or cruel trick my mind was playing on me. But it wasn't. She'd taken everything. Amanda found the backup card, the one I stupidly kept in the bottom drawer of my desk for emergencies. The one I hadn't used in months. And I'd left it there thinking it was safe. Thinking no one would ever be vile enough to take it. Not even her. I hadn't checked the balance in weeks. It was tied to my savings. Quiet. Out of sight. Just in case. And now it was empty. I called the bank immediately, shaking. They froze the account. Started another investigation. But the woman on the phone said something that made my stomach turn. The card was used in person multiple times over the last 24 hours. designer stores, a resort spa, several restaurants. Amanda was still spending, still celebrating, still pretending nothing could touch her. I hung up and messaged Dan. No reply. Then I messaged Dan's mom. She replied immediately. We're handling it. Don't call the police yet. Please. Give me a day. I didn't want to trust her. But something in me was so tired, so hollowed out by all of it. I gave her the day. That night Dan called. He said he'd gone to Amanda's apartment. She wouldn't open the door. He heard her laughing inside with a friend, playing music like she was at a bachelorette party. Like she didn't care about a single thing that had happened. He didn't get to her. But he got to her parents. Dan's mom, God bless her, took matters into her own hands. She reached out to Amanda's favorite boutique, the resort, and the bank with proof that the account had been used fraudulently. She threatened to sue the businesses that didn't comply. Dan's parents weren't doing it for me. They were doing it to protect their son. Amanda had humiliated all of them, dragged their family through the mud, and shattered the engagement in front of half the wedding guests. By the end of the next day, they had forced Amanda to return most of the purchases. Over $7,500 was restored to the account. The rest, Dan's parents covered themselves. They didn't ask me for anything. Just told me it was done. And that Dan wouldn't be reaching out again. I didn't understand why, until a week later when I got a single message from Dan. She told me if I ever speak to you again, it's over. So this is it. I'm sorry. I stared at that message for a long time. Not because I missed him, but because I realized, even now she still thought she could control everyone. She still thought she could erase me by cutting people off from me. It made what happened next so much easier. My mother showed up at my door 3 days later. No call. No warning. I opened the door and there she stood. Perfectly dressed. Composed. The kind of calm that comes when someone rehearses every word before they even knock. I just wanted to talk, she said. I didn't open the door wider. Didn't invite her in. I let her stand on the threshold. He said she was sorry. That she didn't know Amanda had taken it that far. That she only wanted Amanda to be happy, and sometimes she got caught up in the moment. She said I'd always been strong and she'd assumed I didn't need anyone. That Amanda needed more help. More support. That she was the fragile one. I listened. I really did. I stood there and gave her every second she wanted. And when she finished I said, you don't know me. You never did. You chose her. Every time. And you still are. She didn't reply. I closed the door. I blocked Amanda's number. Blocked my mother's. I called the bank and set new pins. I got a new phone number. I locked everything down. Not just the accounts. Me. They don't get access anymore. To my life. My peace. My future. I have people now who see me. People who clapped when I stood up for myself. People who didn't shrink when Amanda screamed. I tried to be part of that family. I tried to play it right. But some stories don't get a quiet ending. Sometimes the best ending is walking away and letting the silence be louder than anything you could say. And this time, I didn't walk away empty-handed. I left with every scent, every truth exposed, and every door behind me locked. It's been 6 weeks. Silence. Peaceful, eerie silence. No more charges. No visits. No surprise doorbell scenes. My number's changed, the locks are new, and I haven't heard a word from Amanda or my mother. Dan hasn't reached out either, not since that final message. Part of me thought he might. I think he wanted to. But I knew he wouldn't. Not under her thumb. Then last night around midnight I got an Instagram message from a name I barely recognized. Sarah B. Amanda's bridesmaid. All it said was, you were right about her. I thought you should know she's trying to plan another wedding. Same dress. Different guy. She attached a screenshot. Amanda in a new apartment, posing in the mirror again in her gown. Caption, second chances are for the strong. No ring on her hand. No man in sight. Just her and that same haunted smile. I didn't reply. I just stared at it for a second, then closed the app. Because none of it surprises me anymore. Some people don't change. They just rearrange the mess.